not working.
It's okay.
So let's just do this.
Try to hold it together. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. You had you had some storm damage, so it's all good. It's not good for you, but this right here is secondary.
Hey, just welcome everybody. We're trying to do this thing. Stuff happens, as they say. Welcome to the latest edition of You Get What You Get. I'm Rick Hampton with my great friends Tim Turner and Tree McDougal. We had a countdown, we had an intro, and we went over to.
We had several countdowns.
We went over to. Hey, but look, we still got 59 minutes left, so we got plenty of time to mess some other stuff up. But it's good to be here. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody is safe. A lot of storms last couple of days here in Michigan. We got hit last night, and I think the southern region of the country is going to see some stuff tonight. So keep your head on the swivel, and hope everybody comes out of this safe tonight. But I want to say hello to my friends Tree and Tim. What's up, guys?
Hey, I'm great. I'm better. I mean, if I was any better, I don't know. I'm really feeling great right now. How about you guys?
Good here. Very good here.
Yeah, all good here in Motown. We are going to be joined shortly by our great friend Derrick Gervin, former New Jersey Net and Philadelphia 76er shooting guard. Of course, the little brother of the great George Iceman Gervin, one of the great NBA players of all time. And Derrick is a very insightful guy, man. And I'm looking forward to talking to him about what I see that's going on in the NBA as we are seeing a changing of the guard in the national basketball.
Absolutely. I was just checking out Derrick's bio yesterday, and I did not know he was a scoring champ. So he played. I think he was 2 times the scoring champ over in Israel. Yeah. I was like, okay, all right, dude. He can put it. He can kind of fill it up a little bit. So he'll.
Yeah, he played 18 seasons.
Pardon me.
18 seasons.
One thing those girls can't do is score the basketball.
That's right. One thing.
Yeah, he played 18 years overseas.
Yeah, I remember him saying that last time he joined us. So, but yeah, I always love when he joins us because he has so much insight to, what we're seeing today based on his past experience. So
I'm looking forward to seeing if he's going to be on the T-Wolves bandwagon. Like I'm jumping on that right now. Because they look unbeatable. They look invincible. There's so much going on. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
So there's just so much going on in all these different sports. NFL.
You want to roll it.
We got college football. We got people new sponsorships for bowl games that are kind of interesting over there in college football. We got the NBA playoffs. We got award season. You got Jokic and Wembanyama with their wins.
New uniforms for some teams, right?
New NFL uniforms for some teams. That's going to be, new is old, old is new. That kind of thing with Denver. They're going to look really sharp. And those Leos have some new uniforms. And really, can you tell a difference, Rick?
Yeah, they kept a lot of tradition to it. They got a new helmet that's really, really cool. And that's really the big thing for me is the helmet. A lot of it has just been trimming in a little darker Honolulu blue than normal. But they look good. They definitely look good. Hey, but you were talking about college football, and we have a plethora of bowl games. But now we might have the greatest bowl game ever in terms of title, the Gin and Juice Bowl, sponsored by Snoop Dogg.
Yes, I love it.
Once we come off probation of with our streaming, with our video, we're gonna have to play some Gin and Juice. They're actually sponsoring a bowl game.
I think about the Orange Bowl trophy, where they get this big trophy full of oranges, and when you win the Duke's Mayo Bowl in Charlotte, they douse you with this big old vat of mayonnaise. I wonder what they're gonna do at the end of the Gin and Juice Bowl out there.
You get a Gin and Juice. You get a Gin and Juice. You get, yeah. Where's it gonna be? Because I want to go to that. Where is it?
Arizona.
Can we go?
It's in Arizona.
We'll get up there. Hey, we need to go.
We need to cover that game.
That's a road
we need
trip.
to cover that game, guys.
Yeah. So
but you know the crazy thing.
I love hip hop. I love hip hop, and the fact that these kids created this music and how they've just continued it until now, sponsoring a bowl game. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I just think about
it is utterly remarkable.
Well, Snoop has become such a brand, and he's made it palatable to the masses. People have seen the growth in the kind of guy that he is. He goes from where he came from, and it's like, but he still hadn't lost touch with that, but he's still marketable. I mean, the thing with the was it Corona beer? Those commercials are just priceless with him in there. He's a great pitch man. So it's pretty exciting stuff.
It's one of the great marketing stories of all. It's one of the great marketing stories of all time.
Could you see this 10 years ago, really 20 years ago?
And I remember reading a piece on him in Time magazine. It could have been Newsweek, maybe 10 or 15 years ago. And the guy writes it beautifully. When he walks into the room, there's a plume of smoke because Snoop is in there smoking weed. And they go through the discussion and Snoop talks about, he's very active in his community. And back in Long Beach, he sponsored football leagues for years and done a lot of great community work. And he was just starting to cross over tree. And the guy said, Snoop, what is your secret? You went from this gangster rap to America Loves You. And Snoop took a puff, blew a plume of smoke from his weed. He says, I'm just a likable MFer. I mean, that's perfect. That is perfect. I thought that was absolutely perfect. I'm a likable MFer. As only
and didn't I see that he was doing? Yeah, I'm sorry. Didn't I see him also doing a movie or something, or some show about him and his coaching recently? Did you guys see that?
I think it is a documentary type thing. He's huge with youth sports. Big time Steeler fan. I don't see how I don't know where they came from, but he's somebody from suburban LA, being a Steeler fan, but he's watching them like, any other rabid fan who lives in Pittsburgh.
I guess that's like me being like in the Celtics.
It pretty much is.
People can't understand it. Yeah, or I don't. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just think that
we got Snoop.
He's making a name for it.
It seems like we're getting a little delay, guys. So to our viewers out there, just bear with us. Hopefully that will work itself out. I'm wondering if it's the weather here, but
I don't know. I did have someone just text me and said that it appears our site was down.
Hopefully it'll work itself out.
But it says the site is down?
It says it appears our site is down, but I just pulled it up and it looks like we're live. It's live for me, but I just looked at on YouTube. So
I'm getting the thing saying we're live. I think we're just getting a little.
Mhm.
I think we're just getting a little delay. Uh,
Yeah.
so we'll work through it. But let's bring our guest on. My
Yes.
great
Well,
friend.
there he is, and then he's
There he
gone.
was. He was
If
gone.
we can get him here.
There. What? What's happening?
It was here now. Derrick, are you there?
Yes, I'm
There we
here.
go. There we go.
Hey, what's up, Derrick?
Hey, how you doing? Good evening,
All right,
everybody.
now I'm just holding it a second to make sure you don't disappear. I just want to make sure you don't disappear again, Derrick. Uh,
Okay.
Welcome to You Get What You Get. My great friend Derrick Gervin, who I happen to host a live stream with on Thursdays called As Good as It Get, former Nets, former Sixers shooting guard, and as Tim was saying, two-time international scoring champion.
Thank you, Tim. Can you hear me, Ricky?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah,
I can
Tim,
hear
I
you.
appreciate it. Thank you very much, my man.
Yeah, I was checking out your numbers yesterday, and I said, man, this dude's a scoring champ twice.
I actually got to have some fun today with one of my great nephews is visiting from California today. So I did a little shooting with him. We took 20 shots. I was shooting from the elbow, Tim, at the free throw area, with the left elbow and the right elbow. So I had to at least teach him something.
Mm. Any video of that, sir?
Say that again.
Did you videotape that?
No, my nephew actually videotaped it. He didn't show it to me yet, but yeah, he videotaped it.
All right.
I have to show it one day because I was fortunate to go 20 for 20.
Wow. I want to see that.
So do I.
In other words, just another day for Gervin shooting the basketball.
I'll agree with that, Rick.
Well, I'll tell you what, Derek, the playoffs are going on, and I know you're deep into them. Now, what do you think the chances of the Knicks coming out of this series against the Pacers without the help of the officials?
Well, I picked the Pacers to win that series, but I wouldn't be upset at all because I like the Knicks. I don't like some of those calls. It's not even just the Knicks series. It's a lot of these series.
Yeah.
That's a lot of funny stuff going on. I didn't like that foul call they called on Miles Turner, that offensive foul that set in that screen. But there have been so many calls. I just want them to be consistent. And I don't want to get into the cheating and all that, but it makes you think sometime, man, because some of the calls are really like wishy-washy and the timing. All I want to see is all the referees in the NBA be consistent. And then they won't have any of these complaints about the game being rigged or any of that. That's what bothers me the most.
Well, you just mentioned timing, and that's one of the things that kind of bothers me about, like, I think Reggie was screaming on Miles Turner on that foul. It's like, you can't make that call at that time. Either it's a foul or it's not. Granted, it wasn't a foul, and they really jobbed the Pacers and not let them have that opportunity to keep the ball, and then they tied it up and put them ahead. One of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think that was a bad call, and there's no reparations, no kind of way you can turn that back. They said they made a bad call with 52 seconds left, and then after the game they said, "Yeah, our bad." That does nobody any good.
Tim, it messes with the integrity of the game when they keep coming out with these last 2-minute reports.
Right.
And it bothers me because I'm a guy, man. I mean, don't have the rule in place if you're not going to ever go use it. You say you got where teams can protest, but we already know what happens. They don't allow these teams to protest. They come and talk about it later. And for me, man, I'm so tired of that, man. Just if you're going to have the rules, enforce the rules, or if you're not, just get rid of them. But I'm tired of the 2-minute report. It doesn't help anyone. It makes the NBA look bad, and I'm just tired of seeing it.
Is there a solution to that?
Say that again, man. I'm sorry.
Is there a solution?
Yeah, the solution, honestly, is to just call the game away, Miss Tree. I mean, I've never liked it. My brother's his first ballot Hall of Famer. but I don't like them giving the stars the calls, because I figured if you have that much ability and that skill set, why do you need extra help from the referees? Call the game the way it happens. And that's the way I've always felt. I'm not going to ever feel any differently. Don't give certain people calls that you won't give the others. And I'm not going to ever change for that. So for me, yes, just call the game the way it's supposed to be called.
I agree with that. Yeah, it makes sense.
So you think about preferential treatment. It really, in the playoffs, it's not even the stars. And I don't consider Murray a star for the Nuggets. But when he threw that heating pad out there on the floor, oh my goodness. And when the coach Malone came out there and got in the referee's face and was screaming at him way off the floor, and the referee kept his cool, for a lesser referee, me, would have teed him up twice and he'd have been gone.
Well, remember, I picked Denver last year and this year, but I didn't like it either. I thought that he immediately should have been suspended. Not only did he throw the heating pad, he threw the towel before that. And I guess that made him 3 for 20, because he was 3 for 18 shooting the actual basketball, then 3 for 19 once he threw the towel, and then 3 for 20 once he threw the heating pad. But I thought he should have been thrown out. They always talk about Draymond.
Yeah.
I just think if you got to be fair across the board. If you're going to do it to Draymond or Dylan Brooks or Patrick Beverly, whoever it may be, we know he's got a penalty coming as well. Yeah. But if you're going to do it across the board, man. I don't like when they be specific with certain guys and not with everybody else. And it's the same in the WNBA. Call the game the way it's supposed to be called. Go what's written within the rules and follow that.
Hey, Dave, let's get into some of these series. The game that's going on now, Pacers, Knicks. Knicks I think it had a big injury bug. They're already without Julius Randle, and now Mitchell Robinson, their big center, great defender, just a very good player, role player. Not I say great, but very important to their cause. He's out for the rest of the year. What's the impact to them, especially in this series with the Pacers?
Well, for me, I think it's huge when you're talking about going down the stretch now with the final 4 teams in the East and final 4 in the West. I think it's big because I like the Knicks, and we know they're a very gritty team. But even like the Julius Randle injury, I think that hurt them. They were fortunate to win the first round, but it impacts you when you take away a 25-10 guy. And Julius Randle is capable of doing that every night. So it's made other guys have to step up. And then you get Mitchell Robinson. And I was sorry to see him be out now 6 to 8 weeks, I believe. And a lot of that has to do with Joel Embiid. So it's going to make it rough for them, Ricky. They might have a few good games, but as you look at as the series goes on, I think they're going to have trouble continuing to score. And it just hurts me, man, because I really like the Knicks team. But as you know, when you're taking away guys that have been there all season, like a Julius Randle, who's really had some all-NBA years, if you really look at it, and then you take out a defensive presence like Mitchell Robinson, at some point in the 7-game series, it's going to hurt you. And the Knicks have played really well, but I still expect Indiana to come back in this series.
Well, but I think also the Knicks have had people step up in a big way because DiVincenzo, I think I pronounced his name,
DiVincenzo, yeah.
When he was with Milwaukee, you didn't see any of this. You see guys like that who really have come into their own and are playing with Hartenstein. I mean, where has he been? And then, now you got Porzingis who disappeared when he was in Washington, but looks like he's all world in Boston. You see the guys are coming through for the team all over the place.
Well, you look at certain guys, I think certain guys are easier to replace than others. Hartenstein is a guy that's shown up, but if you look at DiVincenzo, if you look at his pedigree, you already know, Tim, he's a champion in college.
Villanova,
and the guy plays hard, but you still, at some point, if you look at it, it comes down, certain guys are irreplaceable. you can replace them for a period of time, but over a 7-game series, it's hard. And that's what Denver's going through right now. I'm sure we'll get to that. But you take away a Jeff Green and a Bruce Brown, you're not looking at the same team. And it's the same with the Knicks. It's vital to have Mitchell Robinson because you need those fouls just in case Hartenstein were to get in early foul trouble. So you need those guys. You need a Julius Randle. And usually those are the things that show up. If the Knicks were to advance, they got a Boston Celtics or somebody looking at them next. And at some point in the series over the course of the playoffs, it shows up when you don't have those marquee players, I'll say. The guys that get the top level salaries. They get those salaries for a reason. And you might be able to go ahead and make it without them for a few games. But at some point, it's going to catch up to you. And that's what I'm afraid of with the Knicks.
Well, there are two players that were out for the balance of their early other rounds. You look at Butler down in Miami, and you look at Giannis in Milwaukee. And I'm like, if you're going to play, is any time to play through some sort of injury, it would be those times. And you see Butler after the fact made comments saying we would have beaten Boston and he played
and the Knicks and everybody else if he was playing.
And then Pat Riley was like, if you're not on the floor, you need to shut up.
Tim, you know why I think Pat Riley said something? Because you're really shooting down the rest of the players. I don't know if Jimmy's aware of that. When you start praising yourself about what we would have done if I played, you're really saying that the other guys aren't up to par.
Right.
And I'm hoping he realizes that you're shooting the other players in the foot. And that's why Pat Riley spoke up. He still has other guys on the payroll that they have faith in. And for Jimmy to make those comments was really kind of not the smartest thing to do when you're trying to get $56 million a year.
Right. But same with Giannis over in Milwaukee. It's like, dude, you're the team. The team has no chance without you. And then when you have people, oh my God, Porter, he had no business, going off like he did on a couple of those things. They needed everybody they could have. Lillard being out, Porter being out. It made it tough. It made it tough for all those teams where, you think if they're full strength or some reasonable facsimile of it, they're going to be very good.
Well, the playoffs comes down to the teams that are healthy. We've seen it in both in the East and the West. You look at the West, Zion had to go sit out. You see what happened to them. They folded like lawn chairs after that. And it just happens. You got to have those marquee players.
So let me ask you this. I saw something about LeBron and is he ruining his legacy? I just kind of curious. What's your opinion on that?
For me, it's not ruining his legacy. I'm not like a lot of people. You hear people complain about certain people don't have championships. Like my brother, George has been hurt overall because of no titles. So then now you go out and you try to pursue titles, and now people are upset about that. Even Dr. J, who I've known since I was 10 years old, made some comments that he had LeBron in the top 15 because he chased rings. But I also remember Dr. J chasing the ring. They brought in a guy named Moses Malone. So what are you going to do? Are you going to say no? The object is to win. And sometimes it doesn't work where you're currently playing. You might need a change of scenery. And it doesn't for me, it doesn't taint LeBron's legacy. The man has 4 championships. Most people don't win 1. So just because, he's on the Mount Rushmore for a lot of people, he still played 20 years or whatever. But to win 4 championships is something that many people won't do, won't never do. And it doesn't taint his legacy. For me, you go wherever you have the best opportunity to win.
Along those lines, look at Phoenix, where they put together some folks with thinking about winning. You had Booker, you got Beal, and you had Durant. And didn't they get swept?
Yes, sir. They sure did. Now didn't win a game.
Talking about chasing titles and trying to put things together. Now, at some point you blame the players as opposed to, well, that's a Vogel team and he didn't get them over the hump or whatever. But those guys stayed hurt all the time too, didn't they?
Yeah, but Tim, if you look at it, talking about, they get on the players for changing teams. Didn't Shaquille O'Neal change teams? Didn't Hakeem Olajuwon change teams? Dr. J, we can go. Moses
Barkley.
Malone, we can go. Yeah, we can go on and on. Charles Barkley, it happens. And today, I'm sorry that they got so many stats that they come up with today, man. This new era. At some point, they're gonna be keeping stats of how many breaths you take over a 5-minute period in the game and all that nonsense. But yeah, for me, it doesn't change LeBron. LeBron is still. Everybody knows what LeBron's game is about. He's come up short a few times, but who hasn't? Will Chamberlain lost 8 championships. Jerry West. So the object is to get where you can in the right situation. And if you feel like you've done that, you can look in the mirror and feel good about yourself. That's all that matters, man. You're never gonna make all the fans happy.
No,
That's true.
The longer you haven't played, the better these guys get. I mean, Michael Jordan, tremendous player. Some people call him the greatest player ever. I have no argument with that, if you want to call him that, because it's just an opinion. Like, hey, who you like better, the OJs or Earth, Wind and Fire? I mean, they're both
Right.
great. But
EWF always.
But even if you go in on Michael, he played 7 years before he won a title, and it wasn't a game. It wasn't a game Michael played the first 14 years of his career where he wasn't the best player on the floor every time. But there were plenty of times where he did not win.
Yeah, and then there's some game he had off game. But there's game he had off games as well. And I'm a Mike fan, but people talk like Mike was perfect. We already know. Yeah, like you say, he didn't make it the first 7 years, but he didn't change teams. But still, if he were to change teams, that wouldn't have bothered me, man. I mean, I don't know what goes on in those people's personal life, and sometimes you just need a change of scenery. That's the same thing in an 8-to-5 job. Say it again,
Derrick,
Ricky.
do you think if the free agent rules that exist today, existed when you guys played in the 80s and 90s, would people take advantage of them like they do today?
I honestly say yes, because even in looking at my brother, I always envisioned George playing with Magic Johnson with the Lakers. So I think the same guy, if you put them in the same situation and you tried to play somewhere, you tried to be loyal to your organization, and you played there 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and it didn't work out, you deserve the opportunity to go somewhere else. I've never had a problem with that. Kareem Jabbar wasn't always in Milwaukee. I mean, in L.A., was he? He was with Milwaukee. Oscar Robertson, guys move around. But the object is to win. And you see more so now today, that's all they talk about is a guy didn't have a ring. So if you got one guy here, you consider them on the same level. What separates them? The one that has the titles. So at the end of the day, a lot of people didn't like what Kevin Durant did. But you can never take away him being a 2-time MVP and him winning 2 rings, no matter if people like it or not.
I don't know if I go along with the ring argument because
Tim is shaking his head over here.
I mean, Wes Matthews has several championship rings for playing with the Lakers. Terry Durod, the 12th man on the Celtics, has several championship rings, but nobody will ever
Will Purdue.
Will Purdue,
No, what I mean, Tim, is they make that a big issue.
I know what you're saying, but
for the stars, they make that a big issue.
Right.
And I've never understood it, because the object is to win, man. People don't know how hard it is first to make the NBA, and then to get in there and become a star, and you might not win, kind of like Dame Lillard with Portland. I couldn't fault Dame for finally leaving and going to Milwaukee. It didn't work out in Portland. And then we never know what goes on behind the scenes. So sometimes guys are leaving because they want another opportunity to win or whatever. Sometimes they leaving so they can get a fresh start, just new scenery. We don't know what's going on, but I never knock a person, the guys or the ladies, for trying to go to a winning team. That is, the object is to win.
I like winning.
Hey, what's the jump? Same here. Same here. I like winning. Hey, Derrick, the jump from college to NBA. Can you explain to our viewers how big that is? There's always a jump from high school to college. You, we're looking at your jersey at the University of Texas, San Antonio. You got one in your office there. It's also hanging in the rafters. I don't know how many uniforms they retired, but number 30, nobody else will ever wear it. And then you make the jump to the NBA. How hard is that? And you know, we got the draft right around the corner with so many guys going in there and they're talking about how weak this class is.
It's like going to work for you at McDonald's all your life, and then all of a sudden you get a job with Bill Gates or IBM or Microsoft or something. It's a huge adjustment. And the reason it's a huge adjustment in NBA is because in high school, college, you're used to being the guy. And you're used to being catered to by everyone at the school, even the president of the school. I could go on and on. But once you make it to the NBA, you're on your own. And there's no one there when you have bad times. There's no one there to pat you on the shoulder like they do in college. In the NBA, you have to figure it out on your own. And the hardest part is because you're used to being maybe the most elite athlete that's in all of your time. And then when you go to the NBA, you're just one of the guys. And they're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger, and they're more intelligent. You're talking about business people you're playing against now. Look at the stuff, all the money Shaq's bringing in and all these guys. It's just they learn how to do things differently. Your work ethic has to increase from college to the NBA because you remember you're playing 82 games now as opposed to playing 35 in college. So it's a total adjustment. Your lifestyle changes. Everything you do, now you're paying bills as opposed to going to pick up your little stipend or whatever in college. Now you're not picking up a stipend. Now you're picking up an NBA paycheck. And to continue to pick up that NBA paycheck, you have to continue to evolve your game. And that's every day.
Oh, they have to have the great outfits. But I'm thinking, too, with Derrick, how you're talking about the change. I'm thinking, so instead of getting those bags of cash in college, you have direct deposit in the NBA. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Remember, in college, though, people are more forgiving. They're not so forgiving once you get to the NBA. If you have, it's what have you done? It's what have you done for me lately? In college, they'll give you a pass because they'll say, oh, they're young, they're 18, they're 19, they're babies. You don't get that same pass at 18, 19 once you come into the NBA. And Ricky, you know more than maybe the Miss Tree and Tim. There's a guy from Michigan that was heralded as basically the next LeBron James as far as getting publicity, Imani Bates. And now look where Imani Bates is. He's sitting on the bench in Cleveland. When in college and before college, every time you look around, they were talking about he was going to be the next big thing. And then you get to the NBA, sometimes it's a humbling experience because the level is so high. And if you're not bringing it every day, I mean, hey, it's a different game. They don't wait for you in the NBA. They wait for you in college.
So as a player, how would they wrap their heads around if they were the best, the big thing prior to coming to the NBA and then you get there? Can you give some insight of what they might be going through?
Well, hopefully people were keeping you grounded as you were coming up in high school and the NBA and college and not giving you false hopes. Everybody comes in the NBA. You don't know what your role is going to be because if you're not a LeBron James, one of those top tier guys, a Tim Duncan, you don't really know what's in. Say that name again.
Or Tim Turner.
Yeah, Tim. Well, Big Tim. Yeah. You don't know what to expect. I mean, you got to have a different mindset in the NBA. You got to be able to succeed, and you also got to have the same disposition when you fail, because you're gonna fail a lot in professional sports. And it's just not hyping yourself up to believe that you're actually better than you are. Anthony Edwards right now, if you can look at him the way he's playing, he's got a little arrogance behind him. And that's all good as long as you continue to deliver. But when you don't deliver, you got to be able to, have the same disposition. You got to still keep your attitude above board. You got to be able to suck it up, and hopefully you got the right people around you. That's big, the people that are around you when you get to the NBA or any of these pro sports, because people will turn on you as quick as day and night, and you know that. So you just have to prepare yourself mentally more so pro sports than anything else. I think that's the biggest adjustment is the mental adjustment.
Well, I was thinking about when you were talking to like that, maybe think of another Michigan guy, Michigan State guy. My home of Columbus, Georgia. They had one of the first it was NBDL teams. I guess that was the league back then.
Yeah.
And Columbus played against some team, and the other team's top player was Mateen Cleaves. And I'm thinking, this dude was everything in college. He was like one of the best basketball players anywhere. And here he is on a Thursday night in Columbus, Georgia in the NBDL.
Well, you remember, what about Khalid El-Amin from Connecticut?
Yeah.
Cassius Winston. I'll be more recent with Cassius Winston, Michigan State, coming into the NBA. You just think all the guards you have to go against. And now you're competing against guys like Mike Conley, the Patrick Beverleys. And then you go to the bigger guys like Luka. These are guys that were catered to in college. And they only play one way, Tim. A lot of guys, if you look at it now, they get to the NBA, they didn't develop all their skills. And then that's when you pay for it, because you have a certain thing they won't expect from you in college. Just run the team. In the pros, you got to be more adaptable. You might not be the guy running the team, so you might have to play off the ball, things like that, like a Steph Curry. So you have to be ready for whatever may come forward, whatever they present you with, and you got to be able to make the adjustments if you want to play professional basketball.
So Derrick,
we're going to get. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, no, I was going to ask. So I know I applied for an internship with the player development with the NBA. Haven't heard yet. I don't know if I'll get it.
Good luck. I hope you do.
But does that help the player development piece of it? Does that help them with that transition? If not, what should they do?
The player development helps a lot. They have people that talk to us like when I was a rookie. They had a guy, Jim Hill. Ricky, you know that name from out in L.A., Jim Hill.
He's
come in and
television sportsman, right? Yeah.
Yes. Come in and talk to us about the do's and don'ts. And so that's, for me, that's the piece you're talking about, Ms. Tree. It's just showing these guys, kind of leading them, showing them the way, how to make good decisions. You know who will be great at that when he retires? I don't know if that's what he wants to do, but LeBron. A lot of people get on LeBron for his on-court activities or, sitting down by himself away from the team. But we need more people like LeBron and Steph to start speaking up to these young people, because if you look at their behavior off the court, it's been stellar. And, people have always digging, trying to find something on you. Like this, what's this silly show now that what's that show with TMZ?
Yeah, TMZ Sports.
And for guys like LeBron and Steph to be able to stay above all that nonsense, those are the people that need to be talking to these players about making better decisions. And I hope that happens as we move forward. I'd rather have them talking instead of a Draymond Green or Patrick Beverley. We need to get more of these other players involved that have kept of their behavior above board. And that's what we're missing when you talk about the player piece and dealing with these young people.
But shouldn't they get that before they get into the NBA? And by the time they get there, what's happening on their way there?
Well, sometimes that doesn't help, because it's kind of like you with mom or dad give you instructions and you might be a little stubborn and not listen right away. And then sometimes you have to hear people that are outside your loop, and you have to hear from others. It's the same with the pros. Sometimes when you're coming up to the NBA, you don't know. You got to be be careful. You don't know who's really in your corner and who's just there along for the ride. Gotcha. So you got to have people at every level. Hopefully there's some people that's in your circle, but there's also going to be some people in the NBA circle that you need to listen to and take advice from. The first person that I wish now I could have done it over, the first person to tell me about the NBA life was Joe Barry Carroll. And the only thing he said was, take care of your money, young fella. It was that simple. So you might need somebody like that in your corner. Yeah, those are the people you remember.
Right. Well, you're talking about watching
and that's professional sports. Well, I was just going to say, Tim, not only that's life in the NBA, but Major League Baseball. We just saw what went down in LA with Ohtani and his translator. Yeah. So NFL, you're always hearing those stories. I didn't mean to cut you off, Tim.
No, it's okay. We were talking about lifestyle, and it's not just the player's lifestyle, but it's also the lifestyle of the spouses. I saw a story online yesterday with Shani O'Neal.
O'Neal, yeah.
She says she never loved Shaq, but she loved the lifestyle. That's
Shaq said he wouldn't have loved himself either.
O'Neal Henderson. Okay, go ahead.
No, I saw something where Shaq said he wouldn't have loved himself either. So
yeah.
So it
go
was,
ahead, Derrick.
That's kind of.
Oh no, I was just saying she's Mrs. Henderson now. So, but yeah, life goes on. You mature. The NBA is all about your maturation process. Everybody has to go through it. No matter what level of player you are, you still have to learn how to manage your money, how to manage your circle. If you look at Ja Morant, Ja doesn't seem to didn't have a very good circle around him. He's been quiet lately. So sometime, hopefully this will be a wake up, message for him and a lot of the young people that are watching him that are following up behind him. You make bad decisions, you're going to pay for it. And people are always looking to talk about the bad things. So you just got to be mindful of all these things before you go out, into the real world, before you get on social media and all these things. You just got to think about what's the negatives that could happen if you don't continue to do the right things. And that's what I hope these young guys keep getting the information, how to make better decisions. Don't get the money back that you're making, that you're working so hard to earn, and then you give it back by getting fined, getting suspended, that kind of stuff. Some of these players act like that money is not a big deal. $100,000 is a lot of money. Jamal Murray should have been suspended, but still, that's $100,000. If that money doesn't mean anything to you, man, then go ahead and retire and just start helping the homeless people instead of giving your money away.
Right.
Yeah.
When I saw $100,000, I'm thinking about that's a couple of people's yearly salary. And you're getting up there, being a child and tossing stuff on the floor. They totally lost their composure last night. And I think that's people are going to realize that they can get under Denver's skin and they can take them out. I mean, Minnesota's been great defensively, outstanding defensively, and they didn't even have their best defensive player. The defensive player of the year,
Rudy Gobert, yeah.
Gobert.
His wife had a kid. He wasn't even there.
Hey, Tim, I honestly don't even think he's their best defensive player on that team.
You think Ant is?
No, I think it's Jaden McDaniel.
Okay.
They give Rudy the credit because he's the big guy, the rim protector, but a lot of teams against Minnesota don't even get to the rim if you really look at it. Denver couldn't even get to the basket. And it's because of those perimeter players, Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, Conley. Those guys are defending, man. They playing really well. I was glad to see Rudy get the defensive player of the year, but we know it could have easily went to Victor Wembanyama or one of these wing players. And I wish they started giving these wing players a lot more credit than they're not giving them the credit they deserve.
When's the last somebody did? Wasn't it like Rodman? Somebody?
Yeah. And so you got, but these guys are playing. Go ahead, Rick.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good. No, you the man.
I was just going to say, let's get into that series. And number one, we were talking about. I want you to talk about that Denver, Minneapolis series, Minnesota series, and Tim Tree and I were talking before we came on the air. We're seeing the country seeing all these young stars that they hadn't seen a lot of. Nobody's seen a lot of Anthony Edwards. Nobody's seen a lot of the guys out in OKC. We are seeing a changing of the guard in the NBA. Speak to that and the what you're seeing with Denver and Minnesota.
Well, for the series, man, I'm still a Denver Nugget guy, but I just can't see. They showed sign of weakness in game 2. And to me, I had posted on Facebook that game 2 told everything for me. And then to come out at home and to stink it up like that, 106-80, I don't see how they can win 4 games, because it's not like Minnesota's going to all of a sudden stop being aggressive. They've been aggressive, and they've carried that over in regular season and now into the playoffs. And now they're 6-0 in the playoffs. So I'm just hoping we can make it competitive now. It's going to be tough, but I'm picking now. I think Minnesota's going to win the series, but hopefully that Denver just keep fighting, and then we see what happens. But right now, Minnesota looks like right now the best team in the NBA.
Not the Celtics, huh?
I've never named Boston once as my team to win the championship. I still don't believe in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in pressure situations. I still think they overhandle the ball. And if you look at it, the one reason I didn't pick them, they're a jump shooting team. And that's what scares me. If you look at their team, Pritchard, Hauser, Derrick White can get to the basket, and Drew Holiday. But, yeah, they rely on the jump shot too much. And then we don't know the health of Porzingis. Without Porzingis, I think they have no chance. But we'll see. Right now, Derrick White has pretty much been carrying them. To me, he's been their MVP so far in the playoffs. So yeah, I don't believe in Tatum and Jaylen Brown any more than I believe in my favorite player and Paul George. I'm a Kawhi fan, but every time I look at him and PG together, it just doesn't work. And I think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are too similar. And I still don't see Boston winning the championship. I honestly don't.
Yeah, I'm not so sure myself. I just like them.
No, I like Ms. Tree. I like them too. I think they're a very good team every year. Mm-hmm. But I still don't know. We're going to see, because the more they play, Joe Mazzulla is going to be challenged again. And I watched him get thoroughly outcoached last year in the playoffs. So hopefully he'll do a better job this year. But Boston, as you know, they're a team that can win by 40. And you also know they're a team that can lose by 40. And that's the thing that scares me about them.
They're not going to have problems with Cleveland now, are they?
They shouldn't have problems with Cleveland, but I tell you what, when they could have problems with Cleveland, if Jared Allen were to come back. See, right now you only got Evan Mobley. If you got Jared Allen, that causes problems for Boston, because Al Horford's on his last legs. I believe he's like 36, 37. And then we don't know the health of Porzingis. So if you bring in a big guy like Jared Allen's another rim protector, that could cause trouble for Boston, because Boston is a team that you want. I like when you make them rely on the jump shot. I just don't believe shooting all jump shots wins for you. And I believe Golden State proved that the last couple of years, shooting these 40 to 45 three-pointers a game. I just don't believe that wins. I believe we're seeing the game kind of go back towards the big men. And I mean, Karl Anthony Towns, even he's posting up more. Embiid started posting up more. I think we're watching a rebirth of the big man.
I was looking at looking at Edwards play, and I was talking to Tree's husband last week, Reg. We were talking about him playing at the University of Georgia. He only played 1 year. And we both said we didn't see any of this at Georgia. He was a good ball player, but he was nothing like he's blossoming into now. And he's he'll probably be first team All NBA, and he's on the Olympic team. I mean, this kid has come a long way in a hurry.
Now, to put him on the All NBA first team, they're gonna have to shake it up. That means you're only gonna have one big man if you're gonna put him in the. Because you got to take Giannis out of there. Don't you think Jason Tatum goes in there since they had the best record in the league?
No, he's better than Tatum. He's better than Tatum.
But I'm saying Tatum averaged 27 still. I got to give him credit for that. And he was on the team. They won the Eastern Conference by 13 games. And he was their best player. So for that, I got to factor him in there over Anthony Edwards and even maybe Luka if it came down to it. To me, the only two guys, Shea and Jokic, are the two short things. And then after that, you got to play around a little bit. Is Jalen Brunson going there? Anthony Edwards, Luka? There's several guys, so it's going to be interesting.
It's a given that Brunson is in there because he plays in New York, and
first team?
Oh yeah, first team.
No, he's not going to make first team. You got Shea Gilders and Luka.
First team.
I guarantee you, Jalen Brunson doesn't make. I guarantee you, Jalen Brunson makes second team All NBA.
All right,
because he's taking 30 shots. That's what's going to hurt him.
Yeah,
I'm writing it down so we can come back to it later.
And we got you on tape. Hey, D.
Yeah.
But we're talking about all these guys, and I wanted you to speak to it a little earlier. Just the changing of the guard in the NBA.
Wow. Well, you look at it. Perfect start is LeBron, Steph, and KD, all out of the playoffs, and Steph didn't even make the playoffs. We've seen this coming now the last year or two. Started with Luka, and then you add Shea Gilders and all these guys. I think it's a great thing. But what's even more impressive, Ricky, is these veterans are on their way out. But on their way out, they're still playing at a high level. And that's different from when we watched back in our era when Kareem, you remember when they gave Kareem Abdul-Jabbar the rocking chair in Philadelphia?
Yes.
Kareem looked like he belonged in the rocking chair. These Steph and these guys still have a little bit, they still have something left. They still have some tread on their tires. So it's great to see them go out still playing well. Kevin Durant had another good year, put up 27 a game. But it's also refreshing to see the Devin Bookers and these young guys that's coming in, the Josh Giddeys, the Shays. So we're losing some people, but we're gaining some guys that are learning some things from these veterans that are currently around. And I just think it's great. It's going to happen. It happens to all of us. Father Time is undefeated. I think these young guys are doing very well, carrying the game to the next level. And I still got to give LeBron and those guys credit for paving the way. And it's exciting to see. It change. Hey, sometimes change must come, and it's coming now.
I know Ant was talking about somebody tried to compare the jersey.
Oh boy, I have OKC winning that in 5 or 6. I just don't think Dallas, the style of play. I think they hold the ball too much. You can't do that against a team like OKC. OKC is very underrated defensively. I guess because they don't have big guys. They got Chet in there weighing about 200 pounds. They don't have Steven Adams type guys. So I think people are sleeping on them defensively. But if you look at them, they're very quick. All those guys, Lou Dort, all those guys can guard one-on-one. And I just think it's too hard. It's going to be too much on Luka and Kyrie to try to do this by themselves, basically. And I think OKC wins that series in 5. If it went 6, it would surprise me. I just think they're the better team.
Now, you look at you talk about Chet Holmgren. I mean, against Victor, he looks like he's a Karl Malone. His biggest, he's like a big dude. Because he was a skinny cat last year. That's when he broke his leg in preseason. But he had several blocks the other night that just were like, just give me that kind of stuff. And it's hard to go in that paint on those guys because they're going to get a fast break immediately. And Shea is always open, it seems.
They just play together, man. If you look at it over the course of the year, if you talk about team, just team, don't put faces on it. OKC would be that team. Shea gets a lot of credit. But those other guys that he's surrounded by, I mean, Jalen Williams, to me, is going to be an all-star at some point in his career, if not very soon. And they just play together. If you watch them, everything they do, even their interviews, they do those together. It's just a team. You can tell they get along on the court and off the court. There's nothing phony about it. And we watching, like you said, Ricky, the changing of the guard. And I don't see this going away anytime soon. I think OKC is going to continue to ascend. I think Milwaukee is. Minnesota. You look at Houston Rockets next year, the Orlando Magic, the Spurs are going to be back in the mix. It's exciting.
You get up there with, even they even sing poorly together in their commercials.
Oh, that commercial. Oh my God. It took me forever to figure out what are they talking about.
Oh, is that the commercial with Chet and Shay?
Yeah, Chet and Shay.
I don't know what they're doing, man. I just try to support.
Phone, I think
So bad.
T-Mobile or something, some phone
Yeah.
company, some cell phone
Yeah,
company.
it's not
Hey,
great.
we only got a couple of more minutes here, Derrick. We really appreciate you dropping by and visiting with us. And people
Thank you,
who love Derrick's insight can check him out tomorrow as we do As Good as It Gets on this same YouTube channel at 9 p.m. Deke, so we can see Minnesota and OKC fighting for the Western Conference title.
Yeah,
what are the people in New York going to say about that?
Well, I think people are going to be excited about it because you kind of, you get burned out on every year. We basically knew who was going to be in the finals. LeBron was going to be there. If it wasn't LeBron, you knew it was going to be Steph. So now, I mean, it brings more excitement because you don't know. I'd rather not know instead of knowing every year who's going to be in the finals. For this makes it very interesting to me, seeing all these young guys. And it's the team that gets hot at the right time. Look at all the teams we got this year: the Indiana Pacers, Orlando Magic. I can go on and on. All these teams, the Cleveland Cavaliers. These are teams that are building for the future and teams that I think they're going to continue to get better. And then you got to look at the other side: the Golden State Warriors, the Lakers, the Miami Heat. All those teams are going to try to make their teams better now so that they can keep up with everyone else. But I will say this, Ricky, the one good thing it's proven over the few years, and I always felt this way, just building a so-called super team, that's not enough. That doesn't win.
But you see what OKC is doing, though. OKC, they had like a zillion draft picks. And
yeah,
they
there you go.
Well, when they pick a player, that guy goes and contributes. Where these other franchises, when they have good picks, when they have, a lot of picks, they do an awful job of it. A credit to their front office for year after year finding those cats that could fit into their culture and could fit into their system, and they are winning with them.
It's like a farm system. If you look at it, those are the teams that Miami Heat does the same thing. The Spurs did the same thing. You got to have chemistry. These guys, you got to know each other. I don't think it works to bring in a new players every year. I don't care if there's Devin, Bradley, Bill, or whoever it may be. I don't think that's winning basketball. I think you have to get these guys a chance to grow with each other and give them a few. You don't know if it works until you give them an opportunity. Like even Dame Lillard this year. Some people might consider it a failure in Milwaukee, but we don't know. I don't consider it a failure because I didn't expect much from them anyway this year because it was something new. And it's new for everyone there. It's new for Giannis playing with Dame, playing with a guy who has to have the ball in his hands. He didn't have to do that with Drew Holiday. So it's a difference. But you have to give these teams a chance to go together and play together before you can really say that it's a failure. And that's what I like. Start letting these guys stay at home for a little while and build some camaraderie and let them play together 3 or 4 years. And then if it doesn't work, then we got to start talking about maybe making moves. But until then, give it an opportunity.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah. Hey, before we get out of here, Derrick, I want you to stick around for this because we just got to give another shout out to our girl, Tree. The graduate.
You get 10 shouts. 10 shouts out from me, man. 10 shouts out. Shout outs.
I get another shout out, Ricky?
Hey, do you know these people? Do you know any of these people you're in line with here at graduation? Did you see this picture I got up?
I don't see a picture.
I don't see a picture.
Oh, it's not coming through. Are you telling me it's not coming through?
It's not coming through.
Ms. Tree, you have a big day coming up?
I had a big day. I finished a master's degree at Savannah
Oh my
State.
God! Congratulations! I
Thank
mean
you. Oh,
that
look,
sincerely
there
a
it is,
thousand
Tim.
times.
There it is.
Wow.
There you go.
I'm
You should be
free.
Online.
you should
I'm
be on
free.
you should be on cloud 10.
I am free.
Wow.
Free from studying for a while. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Should you
Tim
get an
came
understanding?
to witness it to make
You
sure
get
it was
an
real.
understanding of.
Yeah, I had to make sure that it
I
was.
don't know what's going on with our technology tonight.
Yeah.
So we know you got staying power. That's perseverance there.
Yep. I'm tired now.
Well, now you can rest. Your job
Yes.
is done.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Wow, that's excellent.
Thank you.
Congratulations again. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is outstanding. Any other final thoughts before you go, man?
Well, I just wanted to thank you for even inviting me on the show today, man. I told you I love this. I love you and I doing the show together, but I love this show as well. I think it's it's a favorite of mine. So I wanted to thank you, and I enjoy being on here with Tim and Tree. I enjoy it. I really do. I look forward to it.
I always look forward to seeing you too, sir. Look at Tim.
Thank you. I wish you. Well, you don't know me well. I wish. I'm a guy that likes to be called Derrick, but sometimes I deal with a lot of military people, and so I try to understand. But I'm a Derrick guy.
All right.
Hey, D, we will definitely have you back during the course as the playoffs progress on to get your great insights on this great game of basketball.
Great insight. Wow, Ricky. Get me emotional. Thank you very much.
For Derrick Gervin, Tim Turner, Rick Hampton, and Tree McDougal, we'll see you next time.
All right.
Y'all have a great night.
All right,
everybody stay safe out there.
All right. You too, sir.
Take care. Good night.